Module 6, The Coach in Action. Being able to organise is an important part of effective teaching for coaches to provide guidance to the participants to ensure they learn effectively. There are 4 parts to teaching a new skill. Instructing, what should the participant be doing and how? Demonstrating, showing the participant how it should look. Applying, getting the participant to practice what they've heard and seen. Confirming, providing the participant with feedback on how they went, what they saw, and how to correct. There are many different ways to teach a new skill. Some of these are listed below. As a coach, you'll need to make a decision which method works best for the skill you are working on and the level of the participants in the group. One common method we're going to look at in more detail is the whole part whole method. The whole part whole method means starting by demonstrating and practicing the whole skill, then breaking it down into parts and practicing, and finally finishing by practicing the whole skill again. Let's say for this example we are practicing a surge. A coach demonstrates the whole skill and then sends participants off to practice. Next, the coach would bring the participants back to the centre and start breaking the skill into parts. Do a demonstration and send participants off to practice again. So for a surge, the first part you may want to practice could be skating on one leg, or weaving through cones to practice transferring weight from one side to the other. Then build in other elements of the skill each time you regroup. Finish by demonstrating the whole skill again and give participants a chance to practice. No matter which coaching style you use, these are some of the skills needed for all coaches. These include time drills. Use a stopwatch to time drills and be sure participants gets the same amount of time to practice. Be heard. Bring a whistle and use it to signal start and finish of drills. Pairs and groupings. Group participants together according to the skill you are teaching. Aim to allow all participants to have a chance to practice all positions and skills. Change group and positions on track. It can be good to allow different participants to work together at different times, so plan to swap partners and groups throughout the session and also position on the track. Use both sides. Whenever possible, practice skills with both sides of the body, like using the left and the right foot for stops. Feedback. Make sure to get around to each group as much as possible to provide feedback, direction, and encouragement, and be equitable. Analysis paralysis. Encourage participants to just do. Remind groups that are continuously stopping to keep working on the skill rather than talking about it and risking analysis paralysis. The stages of learning are phases that participants experience as they progress through skills. As a coach, if you are aware of a participant's level of readiness, you can help them advance more quickly. The cognitive stage. Figure out the skill. This phase, sometimes referred to as the mental stage, occurs when the beginning participant is attempting to understand the basic task. The associate stage. Getting better. At this stage, the participant understands the fundamentals of the skill and is in the process of refining the skill. The autonomous stage. It's second nature. At this point, the skill is well learned and the participant performs the skill automatically without having to focus on execution. Effective communication isn't just about what is coming out of our mouths. Communication is the art of successfully sharing meaningful information with participants by means of an interchange of experience. Coaches want to motivate the participants they work with and to provide them with information that will allow them to train effectively and improve performance. Coaches need to ask themselves, do I have the participants' attention? Am I explaining myself in an easy to understand manner? Has the participant understood? Does the participant believe what I am telling them? Does the participant accept what I am saying? Before communicating with a participant, coaches should consider why they want to communicate, who they wish to communicate with, where and when the message could best be delivered, what it is they want to communicate, how are they going to communicate the information. Effective communication contains 6 elements. Clear. Ensure the information is presented clearly. Concise. Be concise. Do not lose the message by being long-winded. Correct. Be accurate. Avoid giving misleading information. Complete. Give all the information and not just part of it. Courteous. Be polite and non-threatening. Avoid conflict. Constructive. Be positive. Avoid being critical and negative. Improved communication skills will enable both the participant and the coach to gain much more from their coaching relationship. Provide clear instructions and visual demonstrations. Simplicity. Emphasize only one major point and perhaps one minor point each time you demonstrate. Reasonable goals. Your demonstration should always set goals that are within the ability of your participants. Appropriate body language. If you want the participant to move quickly and urgently, demonstrate the correct pace and tempo of the movement. Talking while demonstrating. This enables you to draw attention to the key points while you are actually demonstrating them to the participants. Refraining from over-demonstrating. Restrict demonstrations to 1 or 2 repetitions. It is also important to stand where participants can see you and demonstrate from all angles. Active listening. Listen. Look. Actively attend to verbal and non-verbal cues. Involve yourself with the speaker and the topic. Sense what the speaker means by the statements. Think. Associate, reason, analyze, apply. Engage yourself. Question, elaborate, elicit. Notice change. Be open to new information and ideas. Communication blocks. Difficulties in communicating with a participant may be due to a number of issues, including the following. The participant's perception of something is different to yours, or they may jump to a conclusion instead of working through the process of hearing, understanding, and accepting. The participant may lack the knowledge needed to understand what you are trying to communicate or the motivation to listen to you. Emotions may interfere in the communication process, as well as clashes of personality. These blocks to communication work both ways, and coaches need to consider the process of communication carefully. Feedback. The quantity and especially the quality of feedback given to participants is key to how well you can develop them. Successful coaching requires an ability to successfully provide feedback to participants. Done well, giving feedback to participants should be a gift, not a punishment. Some things to remember. Give 3-to-1 ratio of positive, including instructional and constructive versus negative feedback. So, 3 positives to every 1 negative. Positive feedback. Do it now. Positive feedback is too important to let slide. Make it public. Positive feedback should be given publicly. Be specific. Do it often. Celebrate the small successes. Do it evenly. Ensure all participants are praised. Be sincere. Really mean when you give positive feedback. Negative feedback. Be specific and related to behaviour. Consider your timing and ensure it is done privately. Use calm and unemotional language. Check to make sure clear communication has occurred. Focus on behaviour the participant can change. State observations, not interpretations. Reframe feedback into what you want to see more of, not what you don't want to see. Receiving feedback as a coach is an essential for continuously improvement of your coaching abilities. Actively seek it. Feedback should not be seen as a negative, rather as a gift to help you be better as a coach. A good way to manage the responses you get is to set the questions yourself to give to participants. Ask what you want to know. Acknowledging and acting on feedback. Participants who provide feedback want to know that you received the feedback, so let them know. If you understand why participants misbehave, you'll be much better able to help them through instruction, training, and correction. When we talk about misbehaving, we mean things like talking during demonstrations, interrupting the coach when they are talking, refusing to participate, rolling eyes, etc. Some reasons why participants might misbehave are: feel discouraged. You need to find out why they are discouraged. Believe they do not belong. Misbehaving participants may believe they do not belong or that they are not significant to the group. There is a personality clash or lack of respect for the coach. Participants may decide to make your life miserable by arguing, contradicting, lying, resisting direction, and distracting the group. Boredom. They may be bored. Too challenged or not challenged enough. They may feel out of their depth or not challenged enough. So what can we do to manage bad behaviour? You can use non-verbal communication. By using non-verbal communication, this promotes self-control among your participants. A tilt of the head, a slight frown, a stare, and moving close to the participant, maybe even putting a hand on the participant's shoulder without saying anything, can be effective actions to stop inattentiveness and horseplay. Remind participants. Sometimes just reminding participants of appropriate behaviour is sufficient. Try to do so privately without embarrassing them. Redirect the behaviour. If participants are seeking attention by misbehaving, ignoring it usually results in their escalating behaviour until you pay attention. Try to redirect the behaviour by giving them attention when they are not demanding it. Address the behaviour. When a participant misbehaves, address the behaviour, not the character of the participant. Applying consequences. Your consequences for the misbehaviour should never be harmful physically or psychologically. Taking responsibility for their actions. Make participants understand that they have chosen the consequences because they misbehaved. Avoid public confrontations. Remove the participant from the others and address the misbehaviour privately. Remove privileges. An effective consequence is to remove the participant's privileges. Be respectful yet firm when administering discipline.